Manchester City player ratings versus Brentford with 3 8 out of 10s as Erling Haaland, good Manchester City, beat Brentford 1-0 in the Premier League to continue their unbeaten streak after being made to work hard for the points. Manchester City hung on to claim 3 points at Brentford for their first away win in the Premier League since the opening day. Defeat at Brighton was followed by a late draw at Arsenal, but the Blues left West London with a hard-earned victory. Everything looked easy for Pep Guardiola's side in a one-sided opening half, with Erling Haaland scoring early and Phil Foden and Tijani Reinders among those going close to extending the lead. However, another goal did not come, and it was a completely different game in the second half. Brentford pushed City all the way in the second period, but City held out for what could be a big win in their season. Brentford versus Manchester City Premier League prediction, odds and betting offer. Manchester City will be looking to avoid a repeat of their disappointing draw at Monaco when they travel to West London to face Brentford this weekend. Brentford and Manchester City meet in the Premier League this weekend, with both teams arriving in solid form. After back-to-back defeats to Tottenham and Brighton a few weeks ago, City have found their rhythm again and are currently enjoying a strong run. Pep Guardiola's side come into this fixture unbeaten in their last 6 games, with 4 wins and 2 draws, including a 2-2 draw against Monaco in the Champions League, a match they largely dominated and arguably should have won. Brentford, tipped by many as relegation candidates before the season began, have exceeded expectations in several matches. The Bees have picked up 3 wins, 1 draw, and 2 losses in their last 6 outings across all competitions, most recently securing an impressive 3-1 victory over Manchester United. However, Brentford's main concern remains their defence. They've conceded nearly 2 goals per game over their last 6 matches, and their expected goals against per 90 is the second worst in the league. While Keith Andrews' side have shown attacking promise, scoring 9 goals in 6 games, they remain vulnerable at the back, which could be costly against a free-scoring Manchester City. City have netted 20 goals in 9 games this season, with Erling Haaland in sensational form, accounting for 11 of those goals. With such firepower, City will be confident of finding the net against Brentford's shaky defence and testing goalkeeper Kaoimhin Kelleher. Recent history suggests goals are likely in this fixture. 4 of the last 6 meetings between these sides have produced over 2.5 goals. Expect another high-scoring affair, with Manchester City favoured to come out on top. Pep Guardiola's comments about Nico Gonzalez offer a clear and strategic message to Manchester City fans and observers amid growing concerns over Rodri's fitness and form. Here's the key takeaway from Guardiola's statements and what it means for City. What Pep Guardiola said about Nico Gonzalez sends telling Manchester City message amid Rodri concerns. Manchester City boss. Pep Guardiola believes Nico Gonzalez's continuing to patience could be the defining word of Manchester City's midfield this season. Patience with Rodri as he finds his feet again after a serious knee injury wiped out the best part of 9 months. And patience with Nico Gonzalez as he adapts to life in blue and tries to fill Rodri's considerable shoes. Gonzalez arrived in January for £50 million, and he gradually featured less and less as City struggled for form. He's made 8 appearances this campaign and has been entrusted with the pivotal midfield role, with Mateo Kovacic having been out injured. And while the jury might be out on Gonzalez's long-term viability as a defensive midfielder, the 23-year-old is impressing Pep Guardiola, with the City boss at pains to point out the positives in the former Porto man's play on the eve of the Premier League trip to Brentford. In the 30 minutes that Nico Gonzalez played against Monaco, he was the player who recovered more ball in the transition, said Guardiola of the man who conceded a controversial last-minute penalty when his boot connected with Eric Dyer's head in the box. Guardiola spoke to Gonzalez on the pitch at length after the Carabao Cup win over Huddersfield last month, one of several conversations with the Spaniard during that contest. It's clear the City chief is desperate for Gonzalez to improve and grasp the message being passed on. And Guardiola is confident he will. He is so young. It's not like we have had 7 or 8 years together, he said. He has had not even 1 year with us together in a tough period, and there are many things that, in a step-by-step, he is going to take it, because he is open-minded. He's incredibly coachable. Not all of the players are. He will get it. Even Rodri, when he started in his first season, he struggled. It is normal. But Nico is Nico. He has to be Nico. He may well be being Nico on the bench at Brentford with Rodri in line to start, and Kovacic pushing for his first involvement of the campaign after 2 matches among the subs. All 3 are likely to get game time with City, challenging on 4 fronts, and Rodri unable to play 3 games a week. The Spaniard must manage his body, and City must find a way of ensuring he is fit and available for the season-defining games, but not at the expense of match rhythm. It's a delicate and perhaps impossible balance, and one that makes Gonzalez even more important. Guardiola knows the January arrival is not the finished article, but there is a clear desire from both player and manager to develop the 23-year-old into an elite performer capable of managing matches in Rodri's absence. The 2024 Ballon d'Or winner at his best is simply the best, but Guardiola accepts those levels may still be a few months off. Rodri will be ready for the World Cup, and next year we will get the best Rodri, said Guardiola this week. Cinho breaks silence as Manchester City U-turn completed have to be happy. Manchester City latest as Cinho signs new contract just weeks after attracting interest from Tottenham. Cinho has signed a new contract at Manchester City just a matter of weeks after being targeted by Tottenham. The Brazilian has put pen to paper on a 6-year deal at the Etihad with the option of an extra 12 months. It completes a turnaround for the 21-year-old who attracted interest from Spurs in the summer window and was open to moving to the capital. City did not want to lose the winger, but Pep Guardiola is always prepared to allow players who want to leave the opportunity to go. In the end, City closed the door on an exit, and Cinho has now penned fresh terms with the Blues that tie him to the club until at least 2031. First of all, I want to thank God for this new opportunity to sign another contract with Manchester City, Cinho said. I'm really happy, and my family is also very happy. I feel fulfilled. My dream since I was little was always to play for Manchester City, and I managed to achieve that. And now, extending my contract here makes it even more special. I feel really proud, and I hope to continue and be very happy here at Manchester City. My playing style is very joyful. I think today you have to be happy to play football. You have to inspire the fans to come and watch the matches at the stadium and leave satisfied. My game is about attacking, going at the opponent, and I think I have to improve a lot in finishing and score more goals, and I will achieve that. I think City's style of play helps me a lot too, always with the ball, and City has great players I play alongside here, which has always been my dream. I think I'm living my dream now. Cinho missed the opening weeks of the campaign through injury, but is now fit again and started the Premier League win over Burnley last weekend. Sporting director Hugo Viana described the winger as having limitless potential as he looks to work his way into Guardiola's team. He has so many excellent attributes. His potential really is limitless. He has superb natural ability, works incredibly hard day in, day out, and he is humble, he said. He is very eager to keep learning and help the team, and his ambition is to be one of the best attacking players in the game. I have no doubt that by continuing to work with Pep and his coaching team, Cinho will go on to be a key part of our squad for many years to come. Manchester City summer signing is under pressure after £16 million development. Manchester City defender Rayan Aït-Nouri had a positive debut for the club, but will return from injury to a different landscape. James Trafford might not be the only summer signing at Manchester City wondering what he walked into. Trafford arrived with hopes of swiftly establishing himself as number 1 to aid his push for a World Cup spot in 2026. Even if it took more time to establish himself for club and country, the path was clear. Except now he has the best goalkeeper in the world standing in his way, and more importantly, the net for every Premier League and Champions League game. Gianluigi Donnarumma arrived at the Etihad on deadline day, after an interest that has lingered for 8 years, and Trafford's best hope of forcing his way into the England team is to leave City. Rayan Aït-Nouri could also be forgiven for thinking he had his position sewn up at City. As the first specialist left-back signed since 2019, he was ushered through the door by jubilant fans and impressed on debut at former club Wolves. Then injury struck, and in his absence, Nico O'Reilly has arguably made the position his own. O'Reilly is a number 10 by trade, but that may soon become past tense with every game he shines in at left-back. One of the catalysts for City's recovery in the final months of last season has now been central to getting over their mini-crisis at the beginning of this one. It is no coincidence that O'Reilly has started every game since the derby, his first start of the season, and the Blues are unbeaten in all competitions and showing positive signs. A pinpoint assist at Monaco was accompanied by a storming performance, while at the Emirates, he kept both Noni Madueke and Bukayo Saka quiet, despite being heavily targeted by Arsenal. Those are international wingers, and O'Reilly also has England ambitions. Speaking after signing a new 5-year deal at City last week, the 22-year-old insisted he is determined to not just be a squad player and wants to push for the World Cup at the end of the year. On the evidence of the last month, Thomas Tuchel would be wise to consider him, just as Pep Guardiola will struggle to get Aït-Nouri back into his team. There will be enough games to go round for both over the course of the campaign, but it would be extremely harsh to drop O'Reilly if Aït-Nouri is fit for the game with Everton later this month. City have paid up to £36.3 million for Aït-Nouri, yet what price can be put on O'Reilly? Back in May, he was valued at around £16 million by Transfermarkt, so add in a bumper new contract and his recent form, and you can at least triple that number. For all that signings always get the attention in summer, the academy player is looking like